Thank you for joining us on this Friday, November 15th. Live from the Beasley Media Complex in Boone, this is the Appalachian Weekly News. I'm Xanayra Marin-Lopez.
And I'm Christina Beals. As exam season and cold weather approaches, Wellness and Prevention Services advises students to pay attention to their mental health and seasonal affective disorder symptoms. According to the Mayo Clinic, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, is a type of depression relating to changing seasons and begins and ends at the same time every year. Elizabeth Cavarello is the coordinator for Wellness and Prevention Services. She says feeling different in the winter than the summer doesn't always mean one has SAD, but the same resources used to treat it are used for treating depression. Rose Muniz is the secretary for the Active Minds Club. She says the club is meant to emphasize that no one is alone and to eliminate the stigma about mental health. Active Minds hosts Expression Night on November 12th, which is an open-minded event for students to share thoughts in any way they want. The club will also have events during exam week to help students de-stress.
3,000 students signed a petition to save the App State Roots Garden. Rumors circulated on social media in late October that the garden located at the edge of East Campus on Howard Street would be paved and taken away. Lee Ball is the Chief Sustainability Officer. He wrote in an email, quote, "There is no plan to move or pave over the Roots Garden at this time," unquote, but that they began a preliminary process of looking at options for the space in a new location. The future of the garden is uncertain, but its uses are clear. The garden is frequently the site of volunteer work days, after-school programs, agroecology classes, and more. Garden Club President Kylie Halloway says the garden is a common space accessible to all students.
Specifically really special. I think one of the things that is so important about it is its location right in between King Street and the campus. It acts as this intermediary space between students and outside community members. It's a common space where anyone can go that is of any socioeconomic class, race, ability, any sort of thing. It's a free space for anyone to come to. Wheelchair accessible gardening beds, like literally anybody can come to this space.
For more information on how you can get involved with caring for the Roots Garden, email appstategardens@gmail.com.
With recent snowfalls this week, App State faculty and students are preparing for the winter season. Our correspondent Anna Muckenfuss reported from Sanford Mall on Tuesday.
It is currently 29 degrees in Boone. The National Weather Service has released a statement saying that winds can get up to 45 miles per hour. Snow is still falling at a slow but steady pace and has started to collect on the ground, sidewalks, and other spaces. I'm here on Sanford Mall, and as you can see, it has become a winter wonderland. But something so pretty can be dangerous.
With temperatures below freezing at night and early in the morning, App State is preparing for winter weather.
We have some level of confidence that we're going to start seeing some snow, especially significant snows. We start as early as we can in preparing for that.
Jason Marshburn is the Director of Emergency Management. He says that App State has several plans in place to prepare for events like the weather.
Whenever we start to see it snow, we have crews that'll go out and they're really looking at the primary routes. Where do emergency vehicles need to get? The exit pathways to buildings, what are kind of the essential services, if you will.
Sky Kale ventured outside into the weather with her dog, Teddy. She says she is concerned that classes were not canceled despite the low temperatures.
It's not fair that we have to walk in like -1 degrees, because it's going to be that at 4 o'clock, and that's ridiculous. I feel like that's really dangerous. You can get hypothermia from that. That's not good.
Marshburn says the biggest danger during winter weather is both walking and driving, and that preparation should be made in case of an emergency.
So in their car, making sure they've got just the basic necessities, if you will, making sure that their tires are in good shape, they have good treads, making sure they've got a preparedness kit, if you will, or emergency kit. So small shovel, ice scraper, emergency blanket, just some basic supplies that they can keep with them.
With more winter weather to come, Marshburn says it's more important now than ever to limit your time outside in freezing temperatures. He says it's also important to make sure you're wearing weather-appropriate clothing, such as gloves, hats, and to cover extremities like the ears by wearing a hood over your head when the wind is blowing. For the Appalachian Weekly News, I'm Anna Muckenfuss.
A standard meal plan at App State covers 58% of meals for the semester, but proposed dining plans could potentially cover 100%. Pam Klein is the Director of Campus Dining, and John Ekman is the Associate Vice Chancellor of Campus Services. They proposed unlimited dining plans and changes that would increase local and national franchises on campus. Klein says 2/3 of students experience food insecurity, and the proposed meal plans are meant to cover a larger percent of meals. Some students are worried they can't afford the proposed meal plans, such as junior computer science major Gabriel Arellano. He says the lowest meal plan is already out of his budget. The $2,300 unlimited 7-day plan would allow students unlimited swipes in dining halls 7 days a week, while the $2,000 weekly 14 plan allows students to come in and out of the dining hall 14 times per week. The unlimited 7 or weekly 14 plan would be mandatory for first-year students. Ekman and Klein presented to SGA blueprints of Sanford Commons, River Street Cafe, Cascades, and Trevette to show easier access to meals and additional seating to adjust to student growth.
Native American Heritage Month is celebrated all November long on App State's campus. The Native American Student Association works to educate both students and faculty on Native history and identities. The organization hosts many educational events, including one held this past Wednesday on understanding Native identity. Anya Walsh is a sophomore NASA member. She says that she would love to see more faculty and staff at NASA events, especially those from the history department, because, quote, everyone benefits from learning even if you think you know the most, unquote. NASA President and Lumbee Tori Hunt agrees, saying educational events are a great opportunity for them to come.
We feel that there's just a lot of learning that needs to happen on this campus, not just with students, but with like faculty and staff in general. And I think that's really what she meant about having more faculty attend our events, specifically our educational events.
NASA will be hosting events throughout the rest of November to continue the Heritage Month, such as a film screening on November 17th. The specific film has not yet been announced.
An App State alumnus turned a Google search into a business opportunity and now travels across the U.S. taking aerial drone pictures, from sports games to implosions. Jordan Nelson graduated in 2012 and is the founder of Nelson Aerial Productions, a Boone-based aerial photography company.
February 2013, started working for building services at ASU. And then, as you know, like I said, in March, bought my first drone and kind of did both for about 1.5 years and spent a lot of time researching video production and just more in depth of, hundreds of hours on, online videos and tutorials and things like that. And it got to the point in July of 2014 where I was so busy with the aerial stuff that I was using vacation days, during the middle of the week to go do jobs and stuff. So I saw the opportunity that it could get much bigger from there and decided to pursue it full time.
Over the past 6 years, the company's drone has flown 2,737 flights and has earned over 9 billion views on YouTube. When Nelson started capturing building implosions, the first one he shot was the Winkler Dorm in 2014. Nelson has also photographed App State's campus and volleyball, wrestling, and baseball teams. Nelson says Boone is unique to shoot because it's photogenic year-round.
A student-run on-campus agency called Second Story Media works to provide experience and services to students and patrons in the High Country and beyond. The agency, started by students of Walker Hall, currently has 20 members specializing in different media-related talents, including graphic design, marketing, advertising, and more. Next semester, the agency hopes to expand their outreach and work with classes outside of the communication department. Specifically, the group has plans to work with graphic communications majors in the art department, says operations manager Max Leekfuss. Leekfuss says the agency wants to bridge the gap between departments to build relationships between different students and their talents. The agency is also working to expand their services to for-profit organizations and charge for their work. For more information, visit secondstorymedia.com.
Our correspondent Katy Hernandez has a story of individuals taking initiatives for causes they believe in.
The Cure hosted their first annual Color Me Cure 5K fundraiser. November 9th, the community came together to support a great cause at the Greenway Trail. The Cure is a student-run organization from Appalachian State University. They hold several fundraisers throughout the year to help fund neurosurgical needs of children at the Cure Uganda Hospital.
This year we're trying to make a bigger impact and raise more, so we decided to do a 5K. And it's been a process. We had to get a permit to do it here, insurance, pick a date where there wasn't another 5K in Boone because that's all the time, I feel like. So we picked today, and I feel like it's a great day. It's a little chilly.
Each year they try to fund one surgery, which can cost approximately $1,000. The Cure at Appalachian State focuses their donations to help children with hydrocephalus. With the race alone, they raised over half of one surgery, with 23 people participating in the race.
I heard about this event today on Facebook. I just really think it's a great day to come and run, even though it's really cold, and it's just a really great cause.
My roommate Rebecca is part of the Cure Club on campus, and she convinced me to sign up and come out here in this 21-degree weather and run.
It's great to see all the runners running for a great cause. This is Katy Hernandez with the Appalachian Weekly News.
It all started when he walked into a Georgia radio station as a teenager and was immediately hooked. After spending 4 decades in the broadcast industry, Professor Dan Valley received the Georgia Association of Broadcasters 2019 Golden Mike Award. At its annual conferences, the GAB awards the Golden Mike to broadcasters who have shown dedication to the industry. When Valley moved from Washington, D.C. to Boone in 2005 to work on the Communication Department Advisory Board, he says he had an interest in starting a talent system. He started the National Radio Talent System, which serves as a program for college students with a passion for radio broadcasting. Valley is also the 90.5 WASU General Manager. He says the radio station allows for students to get hands-on professional broadcast experience.
Now it's time to check in on sports with Matthew Cosgrove.
Thank you very much. If one word can describe App State's football this season, it would be historic. The small mountain school that took down mighty Michigan 12 years ago has now beaten 2 Power 5 programs and its first Southeastern Conference opponent after a 20-15 victory at South Carolina on Saturday, November 9th. App State was up 20-9 when South Carolina began cutting into the deficit on a touchdown with 2 minutes and 58 seconds left. South Carolina regained possession and faced a 4th and 15 from the App State 35 with 19 seconds left. South Carolina quarterback Ryan Helinski completed a pass for 26 yards to the 9-yard line before spiking the ball with 9 seconds remaining. On the next play, South Carolina was called for holding, thus pushing them back to the 19-yard line. After that, the Gamecocks committed holding against Akeem Davis-Gaither on a pass that didn't connect at the back of the end zone, leading to a 35-mile-an-hour wind gust via the student section breathing a sigh of relief. The celebration ensued. Some enjoyed a little bit of the bubbly, and App State left with $900,000 for coming to South Carolina. The teams will play twice more, including a game in Boone, North Carolina, in 2025. Since 2015, Appalachian State is 49-12 and has won at least 9 games every season. They're 1 win away from that plateau again this year at 8-1. Appalachian State travels down to hot Atlanta to play at Georgia State on Saturday night. Georgia State currently sits 1 game behind App State in the East Division standings with 3 games to play. The Mountaineers currently have control of their Sun Belt destiny and will look to maintain it. Something both teams have in common? They've knocked off SEC foes. Georgia State opened 2019 with a 38-30 victory at Tennessee for its first ever win over a Power 5 opponent. Lastly, both teams have outstanding running backs. Georgia State has senior Tra Barnett. He leads the Sun Belt and ranks 6th in the nation with 124 yards rushing per game. His 1,118 yards and 10 touchdowns are Georgia State records, and he's the Panthers' first 1,000-yard rusher. Cute. We have Mr. Versatility, Darrington Evans. He's 3rd in Sun Belt with 98 rushing yards per game and 10 touchdowns on the season. Evans also is 11th in the nation, averaging 141 all-purpose yards per game. To quote the Atlanta native and poet Lil Scrappy, when it comes to Evans, you don't want no problems. I'm Matt Cosgrove. That's sports. Roll Nears. Back to you guys. You going to watch this weekend?
Yeah, Matt, looking forward to that game. And now it's time for your High Country High Note. When the Hmong Society Club hosts its annual Harvest Fest on November 8th, club members had one goal in mind: to teach guests about Hmong culture and customs. The Hmong people are an ethnic group who primarily live in East and Southeast Asia. Students and faculty were greeted with colorful flowered pins and learned about Hmong culture through presentations, food, and interactive games. Club members discussed important cultural aspects such as the Hmong people's ties to the Vietnam War and their population size in the U.S. Guests also tried traditional Hmong food such as bamboo shoot salad and chicken larb, a dish that includes vegetables, rice, fresh herbs, and fish sauce. That's our report this week. I'm Christina Beals.
And I'm Xanayra Marin-Lopez. For all of us at the Appalachian Weekly News, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.